All right, welcome back. Welcome back again. Welcome back with yours truly, the counselor, Mr. James Horton. Welcome back to another lesson and another blessing. We're going to be dealing this evening with a topic called the domestic recess. The domestic recess. But before we get started, I would like to invite you again to subscribe to my channel. Support my cause, and support the cause that's going to support your cause, right? Which is me, yours truly, the counselor, Mr. James Horton. So just subscribe to Domestic Violence with the Counselor, Mr. James Horton, on YouTube, my YouTube channel. All right, this class is called the domestic recess. Okay, it's defined as a domestic recess is defined as a period of time when the proceedings of a parliament, committee, court, or law, or other official body that are temporarily suspended. Recesses are known as a short or long period of time where relationship couples decide to take recess breaks from non-communication and the disrespectful communication within their relationship. Many domestic recesses are known as recession breaks, time off, time out, or retreats. Domestic recesses are known as fleeting, long-term or short-term monetary advancements, fugacious deterrence that has one giving up, shutting down, or no longer coming around. Please answer the following questions, all right? Please answer the following questions. It says, number one, domestic recess, once committed to one partner or one marriage. Was your recess responsible for ending your relationship commitment with your partner, or was your partner responsible for forcing you into a domestic recess, right? Was it you? Was it them? Was it what? Okay. Number two, domestic recess, struggling with alcohol and drug addiction. Do you feel, believe, or conceive your domestic recess is responsible for your addiction, or is your addiction responsible for your multiple years of recess restrictions, right? Because we want to blame it on the drug. We want to blame the addiction on other things, but we want to say what was responsible for this. Well, if I never tried it, if I never picked it up, then there's a possibility that I'm responsible. But yet we find many things. We find our parents. We find our friends. We find our associates. We find if this didn't happen to me, if I didn't get in this kind of relationship, if I didn't meet her, if you say if I didn't meet him, I wouldn't be caught up on this recess so long. I would have stopped a long time ago. But the bell didn't ring for classes to start again, so I stayed out there on recess. All right. Number three, relationship on a domestic recess. Is your recess button struggling to reset, or is your button is your button struggling because your world is offset, right? Is your relationship on a domestic recess, is your reset button struggling to reset, or is your button struggling because your world is offset, right? It's probably offset, and you gotta set it back up. You gotta reset it. It don't have to be the same set that you were dealing with at one time. You can get your principles back in order. You can just get them back in order and reset them in a whole nother form. It don't have to be what it was the last time. What it was the last time, there was probably a hole waiting for you to fall in. So you don't want to go back to what it was. You want to say what it is now, and move forward. All right. Number four, domestic recess parent struggling sometime partner. Do you feel or do you believe you may be the recess sum of most of your struggling problems with your children and your partner? Or do you blame the kids and your partner for going on recess, right? I mean, were they the reason? Well, it was like too much. You know, some people say, you know, oh, I can't be with this kind of woman. I can't be with this race of woman. I got to be with this kind of woman because these kind of women, them brown women, them chocolate women, them, oh, I can't be with those men like, you know, those darker men or those whatever men. I can't be with that, so I got to be with something more better because when I was with that and them kids, right, that sent me out there on that recess, right? Okay, well, is it them or is it you, right? Question. Number 5. Domestic abuser in need of a recess. Domestic abuser, are you known to find recess reasons whenever you get caught up in an abusive season, right? Domestic abuser in need of a recess. Domestic abuser, are you known to find recess reasons whenever you get caught up in an abusive season, right? I mean, some people find reasons, right? They got all the reasons in the world why they should beat their partner down. They got all the reasons in the world why they should just, you know, beat up that frown. They got all kind of reasons, right? Reasons for the seasons and seasons for the reasons, right? But I don't think it's a reason. So you need to find a reason to just keep your hands to yourself. Take it from the counsel. All right, number 6. Domestic recess captive. Are most of your relationship absentee recess captives, or are most of them fishing reel relationship captives, right? We got absentees. We absent, right? We absent from there, right? So we fish in victims too, you know, and it just get nasty, So number 7, domestic recess defined as connotations or denotations. Most words have 2 different meanings. Connotation would define recess as an idea or a feeling associated with a word. Denotation defines recess in most straightforward ways, like keeping it real. Example, why haven't I seen you at work? Answer, I got fired. Straight up. Or, where have you been? Answer, I've been in prison, right? Not, I've been on vacation and all that kind of stuff. You know, we kind of twist stuff up when people ask us questions. All right, number 7, we're going to close this out. Recess domestic yard. How do you define most of your recesses on the yard? Do you define them as a separation, a breakup, or a play yard, or a prison yard? Right? Because they're different yards, right? You remember you took recess and got on the yard in elementary school, right? You remember you stayed and the teacher had to call your parent because you wouldn't come off the yard, right? You kept staying on the yard too long. You went to a yard across the street from the school and stayed out there and didn't, you know, and had a bad attendance record. And they called and, you know, and you went home early, you know, and cooked you and your friends something to eat, smoked some weed in the kitchen, and you erased the answer, everything that was on the answering machine because you had been on recess, right? You didn't want moms and whoever to find out that you had not been to school in a while and that you stopped going to school, maybe back in the 7th grade. You know, those kind of things, but be careful with these recesses, right? And be willing to reset those recesses and get your life in order. Okay, that's going to be it for yours truly, the counselor. Thank you again for attending my group.